One of the requirements to become a Canadian citizen is to file your taxes. And it doesn't matter if you're a student who came to study, if you're a permanent resident, everybody needs to file their taxes. In this video, I'll cover things like when and where to file your taxes, what papers do you need from your employer, how to deduct your tuition fees, and much more. So if you want to maximize your tax refund and get your money back, then make sure to watch this video till the very end, and let's get started. From the very start of your Canadian journey, you need to be aware of Gizmo, can we please stop? From the very start of your Canadian journey, you need to be aware of such things as paying taxes. It is very important to understand your tax obligations and how to file your taxes correctly. First of all, let's clarify one thing. As an international student, if you make any money in Canada, you are required to pay taxes. This includes your income from employment, bursaries, scholarships, so basically any money that you receive, you need to pay taxes of that. And there are two possible outcomes. You can either get a refund from the government or you might be owing some money to the government. Before filing taxes in Canada, you need to determine your residency status. But if you move to Canada to study, to work, to live, 99.9% chances are that you are a tax resident of Canada and you need to pay taxes. If you have any significant ties in Canada, such as family, properties, driver's license, passports, you still can be a tax resident of Canada, but that's a whole different topic. We're talking about being physically in Canada. Full information about taxes, residency obligations, residency status can be found on Canada.ca, our favorite website. And don't forget that I leave all the links in the description box down below, so you can take a look once you finish this video. Another important thing to know about filing taxes in Canada is the deadlines. The deadline is normally April 30th, but sometimes there might be extensions. For example, when COVID hit, I think they extended the deadline for like a month or two, so make sure to check those deadlines beforehand. And let's not forget that we're filing taxes for the previous year, so if let's say you're filing taxes now, that means that you're filing for 2022. If you are self-employed or you need to pay taxes on a commission basis, your deadline is June 15th of the year following the tax year. However, any taxes that you owe to the government, the deadline is the same, April 30th, and they don't care if you work for somebody or you're self-employed. If you are unable to file your taxes on time, you can request a special extension by contacting CRA. And even though you can get an extension for filing your taxes, guess what? If you owe money, the deadline is still the same, April 30th. But how do you file taxes in Canada? This is my first year, Yulia. Can you tell us more? Well, yes, of course. The process is pretty much straightforward, but if it's your first taxes that you need to file, I would personally seek professional help. And that's literally what I did, because when I just moved to Canada, I was like, what do I do? Like, I have all these papers. What's happening? Speaking of the papers, first of all, you'll need your social insurance number to file your taxes. Without social insurance number, you cannot work, you cannot file your taxes. Basically, you cannot do anything. So make sure to have that on hand. Then you need to gather all the documents, including T4 forms from your employer if you're working. If you want to get refunds of your tuition fees, you need T2202 form that can be found in your college's or university's account. And once you have all your papers ready, you can file your taxes either with accountant's help, or you can use software such as HR Block or TurboTax. I personally went to HR Block when I had to file my taxes for the first time. I brought all the papers, everything I had, I gave it to them and they did it for me. But for the next year, I did everything myself. You just literally go online, log in, put all the numbers in the fields. They literally tell you, here you need to put the number from field 25, and you literally take this number and put in the field. Again, if you're not sure about the whole process, seek professional help. Spend that $100 on an accountant who's gonna maximize your refunds and you'll be golden. Again, all the helpful information, all the guides can be found on CRA's website. Again, it is very important to file your taxes correctly to avoid any issues or penalties in the future. If you're filing your taxes for the first or even second time, here are a few things you must know before filing your taxes. First of all, your taxes and your possible refund will depend on many things. If you got married, if you got divorced, you had a baby, you moved houses, you purchased a house, all these things can affect your tax refund. Make sure to make your own research and see how these changes impact your tax refund and what additional tax credits and deductions you might be eligible for. If you are a low-income individual, you might get tax refunds throughout the year. As a low-income individual, you can be eligible for GST/HST credit, which is basically a tax-free payment to help offset GST/HST paid on the basic needs. Eligibility for this credit is based on multiple factors. I personally received that help from the government when I was working my first minimum wage job. I got this payment. I was like, what is this? I did my research and Google basically told me that I'm making almost the lowest income possible, so please, let's help Miss Yulia. If you have a common law partner, husband, wife, spouse, you can file your taxes together. Filing taxes together can bring both benefits and some drawbacks, and decision whether to file your taxes jointly ultimately depends on your financial situation. Benefits of filing together: if let's say one person makes more money, the second person is unemployed, that means that the income of the first person will be divided basically between two because it's one household, and then the person will get a lower tax rate. Filing your taxes jointly may make you eligible for certain credits and benefits that you would not be eligible for if you filed separately. Some of the drawbacks of filing together is basically you both are responsible for any mistakes, for any money owed to the government. So let's say if your partner made a mistake and now you owe to the government, well, you could have filed separately, right? And you can lose some deductions, and filing jointly may result in a loss of certain credits or deductions. Another thing to know that I've already mentioned is that the deadline is April 30th. So if you owe the government any money, that is your deadline. But there are options available for you to pay that amount in installments. Again, you need to contact CRA and ask them for this installment plan, because they're the ones who know this stuff better. And please bear in mind, if you're like, yeah, I'll pay my taxes later, well, first of all, you'll get some penalties. Second of all, CRA will be like, oh, this individual is not very good, they cannot pay taxes on time. They'll be looking at you. Not really, I don't know. But honestly, if you owe some money to government, pay it ASAP. That's gonna be better for you. And the penalties for late payment, they're not nice. First of all, it's 5% of the amount owing plus 1% for every month that your payment is late. So basically, if you're late, I don't know, 1 year, you'll be paying 17% extra. Not good. And let's talk about good things. For example, maximizing your tax return. Maximizing your tax return involves taking advantage of tax deduction of some credits to reduce your taxable income and lower your tax bill. First of all, claim all the eligible deductions. For example, work-related expenses, medical expenses, moving expenses, charities, tuition fees, the list goes on. Please keep records of all of these payments made, because when you file your taxes, you will need everything. If you donate to a pet shelter, keep all those receipts. But also the pet shelter, in most cases, they will issue a tax receipt so you can actually attach it to your taxes and then deduct that from your tax refunds. Second of all, take advantage of tax credits. Tax credits are directly applied to reduce the amount of taxes you owe. Common tax credits can be some personal amounts, Canada Workers Benefit, some tuition tax credits. Again, it all sounds complicated, but once you go to CRA's website, you can read all that stuff online, or you can always talk to an accountant. If you are a student or you have a dependent, you may be able to transfer your unused tax credits, educational textbook credits to your parent, grandparent, spouse to help reduce their tax bill. And again, keep records of everything. You go to the hospital, you take all the papers they give you. You're like, yes, please, I want all of this. Because this will help you with your tax refunds. If I knew like 6 years ago that I can claim my moving expenses and then get my money back, I would have done that. Because I moved to Montreal, I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then when I started filing my taxes, like the next year, Nobody told me about that. I'm like, okay, that's fun. Until my friend mentioned that. He's like, yeah, did you know that you can claim actually that you rented a van, that you like moved all your stuff, that you blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what is this? So please do not be me and take all the receipts, take all the papers, claim everything and get your money back. And please don't be intimidated by the tax process. It seems scary, it seems like a lot of information, but honestly, once you do your first taxes, your second taxes, it's gonna be super easy. And as I've mentioned 10,000 times already, please ask professionals, please ask accountants if you're not sure, if you want to maximize your refunds, if you want to claim all those tuition fees, tuition credits. Talk to the people who know what they're doing. Because when you file in taxes yourself, sometimes HR Blog is like, you owe the government 500, and then I go talk to my accountant and she's like, duh, your refund is like 1K. I'm like, all right, thank you. And that's it for today. Good luck with your taxes. If you have questions, don't hesitate to ask them in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any other helpful videos that I post. And I see you guys next week. Bye!